Hey everyone, my name is Derek, and this is probably going to be one of the most meaningful videos that I will ever make in my life. Last month, I had the chance to visit the Philippines after about like 7 years. And during that trip, I sat down with my grandmother to do an interview, my last living grandparent. So, this was something that I had the idea to ever since we had planned for this trip. And honestly, I knew that if I didn't do it now, I might not ever get the chance to. So, this was an idea that had sprouted up after one of my sessions with my therapist last year. And in that session, I was processing the death of my grandfather in 2018. And we were discussing topics of regret and just being more emotionally open with my family. During that session, I had remembered that one of my creative friends had made this video of him interviewing his mother. And so I had brought the idea up of possibly doing that with my own grandmother because this whole thing really stems from probably one of my biggest regrets in life. When my grandfather was in the last few months of his life, I didn't take the time to sit down with him and really talk to him, to ask him about his life, his experiences, or just to even hear his stories. And so he passed away before I could. And that was something that had honestly just stuck with me ever since. And so, yeah, I didn't want to make that same mistake again. I wanted to capture my grandmother's stories while I still could, not just for myself, but for my family, for future generations of our family, and to really honor the life that she's lived. So, my grandmother does speak and understand English, but sometimes she does have a better understanding if spoken to in her native tongue. So, for this interview, I actually had my mom join me in helping translate. And I also thought that this would be an awesome opportunity to just ask some questions regarding their mother daughter relationship. With my grandmother's age now, her memory isn't as sharp as it used to be. So, unfortunately, there were a lot of things that she couldn't fully remember about her past. But I still wanted to give her that space to share whatever came to her mind. This whole thing, this isn't just an interview. It's really a way to preserve a piece of my family's history, to capture my grandmother's voice, her expressions, and the essence of who she is. And I know that this is going to be a conversation that I know that I will cherish forever. So, with that said, here's my conversation with my grandmother. I really hope that this inspires you to sit down with your own loved ones, ask those questions, and really capture their stories while you still can. All right, so yeah, this the purpose of this interview is to, get to know more of your story. With you being my last grandparent, I feel like it's important for your story to be passed down generations after generations. And I'm grateful to have this gift to be able to tell your story. So, while I'm here, I find that this is like a perfect opportunity to interview you and get to know you more, and just see your journey growing up. So we're gonna talk. The first section that we're gonna talk about is your childhood. So the first question is, could you describe your childhood growing up?
I was born in the Philippines.
Where in the Philippines? Ibaga ka di
In
doon na anak ka.
I in the Philippines they call Trinidad. I was born in Payakat.
Aha.
Our dialect mi kat ibaloy kan kana oy. Anak tabaaw. Ay, Payakat tabaaw.
Kapangan.
Payakat kapanga. Payakat kapangan. With ado kami. It children.
8 children. Oh.
It children.
Aha. Sige, tuloy mo.
Lalaki. Inuuna, lalaki. Din, sumaruno, babae.
Aha.
Din,
She said she's forgetting you.
What were some of your favorite memories growing up?
playing at makiaya maksis. Kakadwa kay anak, babae ya lalaki.
Uh-huh.
Ken-kenito kami. So nga, ang nga matandaanan di udo.
Nga nang hindi na amagan yung sinaka kanito yung sudo di piana ay damagan.
Waday ay ayam ay palatuntunan. Ya. Manlilinya. Dua ay group. Mansisinango.
Oh.
Man question din bangir. Ay. Tumaray din. Sinasago mi ay linya. Tumaray an answerat. So, answerat di. Nangabak. Mo kinumplito na din question. I answer the question. Nangabak.
Oh. Did you understand that?
Ah?
There is a particular game, there's a specific game, it's called
Tunan.
palatuntunan. That's they had been playing before when she was younger. It's called palatuntunan. I'm not familiar with the game actually.
What did you dream of becoming when you were a child? What were your dreams?
I want to become nurse.
Okay. Oh, you wanted to become a nurse.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you eventually become a nurse?
Nenanbalin ka kano ay nurse?
Haan? Na ay failure.
It was a failure.
Hindi tinagan di na eskwela at school. BSU ay Mountain National
Agricultural School.
School.
And now it's BSU. It was MNAS before.
Yeah.
And now it's BSU.
Yeah.
Benguet State University.
I learned also, ay napadas ko pa nag-enroll ti vocational.
Uh-huh. So she, from after high school, she also enrolled a vocational course. What is that vocational course?
Typing.
Why do you laugh? Typing and then
Steno type.
okay.
So we can shift the questions to the family. So what was it like raising your children? And do you have any favorite memories when you were raising them?
Patak.
It's okay. What did you hope for your children to be like growing up?
To be a nurse. But anak nga, I feel that we have no money.
May din anak mo, din your kids.
Ah.
What did you want your children to become? Yet in Derek.
I want them to go to learn. Yung isko ko masin ambition ko ay college. Hanggang ako maturpos ko mong I feel we have no money. I have no money to continue my study.
Oh, she said all she wanted was for her kids to go to college, to finish their education. But it was also a failure just like her because she wanted to become a nurse. It was a failure because she did not become a nurse. And it was also a failure because she said she did not send them to school, the kids.
She said that she had no money.
they have no money. She has no means to send her kids to school.
What makes you proud about the family that you built with Grandpa?
Marat sa kanak adik ko ma.
Sige.
Ngam
Yeah. Go ahead.
awan nga di ko nakon iwod di pilak na di jati na
Hindrance.
nan bile nanti kaman nasa masasadutak ti adak intuloy di ambition ko.
She keeps saying, she's like frustrated because she did not pursue her dreams, her ambition in life because of poverty. That's why may anggan mo sa di ano kadi depend on direct ay damagan no din pamilya ay inamag mo din anak mo ay upat din estado dad ni man adi ay anggan mo iwo si daddy yan din nunga na di ka man na proud ka ay sin pamilyam adi sin anak mo
Ta nak adamat o adamot iman te na itong palay ambition ko ay urup.
oh she said she's still thankful that there are other ambition there are some of her ambitions that got fulfilled like
Kids.
yeah through her kids like what nga nangin didi dinet mo na itong pal ay ano ka na itong pal ay ambition mo sin pamilyam
Healthy,
aha
I feel pakastoy ti itot ni Apo Diyos nga.
aha
Biyag ko at sama ang ganan ni man sapay ko at itong tuloy ko mabibiyag ta mabubuya ako mana kayo nga anak biyag ay anak ko nga si bibiyag tuloy ko ma tuloy na ko mati banag bibiyag na mata nga na naratsak.
one thing that she's thankful for is her health that despite of what happened to her health she is still thankful to God that she was given this long life and it's enough for her even if she's like this it's enough for her to just be watching her kids grow up her grandkids
So we can shift to you, Mom. What are some of the special memories that you remember of growing up of Grandma?
as a child as an adult okay let me go yeah when we were growing up as grandma Mr. Grandma has always been saying the poverty is really the very big factor why she did not finish her education and she said it's a failure and that all she wanted is for the four of us to to finish our studies so growing up there are four of us growing up as a child it's so difficult because my mom did not finish she has no education your grandpa was only a provincial jail guard so it was really hard for them to make ends meet in order for us kids to go to school so anyway we grow up in a very poor situation We were in elementary and high school. We know after we come from school, we need to go home and feed the pigs. We have pigs before. Mama, remember mo?
Jay.
We have pigs.
Oy.
We have pigs. Maybe if I will tell this one, she will remember. We have pigs. We come from school with all I remember is we have to go home early from school. We have to what do you call this? We have to cook food for the pigs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And chicken.
Oh, and chicken. See, grandma remembers a chicken. And then that's how we were. There were no gadgets before. There were no cell phones. There were no even the TV. I remember we didn't have a TV when I was very small. Uh, in terms of games, our games were like nene, shatong. It's all we don't have these gadgets. It's what they call this. I don't know what we just gather. We just play some games, but we were so happy growing. We were so happy growing. I mean, our childhood, we didn't have the luxury that other families before during that time have. But I can say that it was a wholesome family growing up. It was we were raised by your grandpa and your grandma um, in the I think in a rightful way. Let's put it that way, in a rightful way. I remember from dad and mom is they said that education is the only gift, or it's the only gift that they can give us
Yeah.
because we don't have properties. They are not rich. They are not rich parents, so they cannot give us any material things. So they said education, you have to go to school because that is the gift only that nobody can take it away from you. Those were my memories, the advices that I remember my parents told me. I have to include grandpa, of course, even if he's not here now.
How does it feel now that, given the position that we're in, where you have businesses, you have a, stable job back in California, and then you have your son who's building a business too, and how does it feel getting out of that poverty line?
Yeah, I I owe it all to God. I give it all to God. I know that if not because of not because of knowing, if we didn't know God, I don't think we could have been on our status right now because
I feel cold.
you feel cold, malamig ka no? Because I did not also become a nurse if I wasn't a scholar, because they don't have means, to uh, send me to school. But because I was a scholar, that's why I was able to finish
Yeah.
college.
That's true.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't a scholar. If I did not become a nurse if I wasn't a scholar. So when I finish, oh, I'm answering your question, I guess. Is it okay?
Yeah, whatever, however direction you want to take it.
Okay. So I was a scholar. That's why I finish college. Oh, growing up, and anyway, when I was in college, I had an allowance, monthly allowance, and I have book allowance. My tuition was free. So every time I get that allowance, that's for myself, for my own. I mean, it should be for my own expenses, but because my parents cannot provide, there are times I use my allowance to buy a sack of rice,
Yeah. That's true.
a sack of rice for the whole family. And my ambition, okay, when I was 7 years old, I walked to school. I keep passing by Benguet General Hospital. And I remember I see the nurses in their white uniform, they have the cap on. I told myself, one day I will become a nurse and I will bring my parents to America. I think I was 7 years old, 8 years old at that time. And every time I pass by Benguet General Hospital, I said, one day I will be working in the hospital with a white cap, and I will be a nurse. I'll go to America, I'll bring my parents. That was my ambition. I kept that to myself. And true enough, I became a nurse. I was able to bring my parents to America. And that is one self-fulfillment that I was able to achieve. And then about the business, when we were growing up, that was our business. Your grandpa Danny has a brother, your grandpa Abby. He was the one who started the business, and he offered to your grandpa Danny, said, "Why don't you start a small business in Betag? I will deliver you chicken, live chicken, and then you sell also." And then Grandpa Danny said, "Yeah, why not?" So while he was working as a jail guard, we started selling chicken, and then the small amount that they got from that, they were able to support us going to school, like my siblings. And so now we have this business. We have this we continue this business, which is being your uncle Herman and your uncle Hudson. That's what we're doing now. I think I deviated from your question. Yeah, see, if because of the memory of grandma, that's why she cannot, but when she hears you say something, she's reminded.
How does it feel knowing that your daughter pursued her dreams and was able to accomplish what she set out to do in becoming a nurse and bringing you and grandpa to the States?
Ratsakak
Oh, sige.
dati dagito'y anak ko. Inan sa advice ko na ida. Tinupal na iman ni advice ko abad na ida. Ulit nagrig-rigat kami tibiyag mi. Dati bagas na nga na saksid kami matibiyag mi. Uray no pobre kami. Dagito'y ubing ko. Sutat nang fulfill mati. Advice minda ida.
Oh, okay, let me translate. Did you understand that?
Maybe like is she saying that her kids fulfilled her dreams?
Yeah, that she is happy that her kids fulfill their dreams, that even if we were poor, they were able to fulfill our dreams. Siya, dinet mo?
De.
Na-fulfill din anak mo din dreams mo. Siya?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you understood that.
So one of the main reasons why I actually thought about doing this interview in the first place is actually because of grandpa. One of the most, like, probably one of the things that I regret in life is just not being able to talk to him more, during his last few months alive. I remember a moment where mom told me
you should talk to your grandpa because, you know, he only has like a few months left. And I remember her telling me that, and then I think the next thing I saw was grandpa walking back to his room, you know, and he looked so defeated. And I don't know, I didn't talk to him during those last few months. And so that was like one of my biggest regrets in my life. And I think the next thing I know after that, you know, I received a call from mom while I was at work to say goodbye to grandpa for the last time because, you know, he was going away. And so I remember stepping outside of work and, you know, just telling my grandpa my last goodbye, you know, telling him that I love him. And so, you know, that's why I want to do this because, you know, it's what I didn't get to do with grandpa while he was still alive. And this is something that I talked about in therapy. It's like one of the reasons I went to therapy last year is to, you know, because I don't think I ever fully resolved, you know, not being able to, you know, handle my grandpa's passing. So, you know, that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this is actually I brought up that we talked about the idea of doing this interview while I'm in the Philippines because this might be the last chance I might get to do this. And so, you know, talking about grandpa, grandma, could you tell me how, you know, how you met grandpa and what were your first impressions of him?
Tikit isyorak sindang wa itikitak din. Pasairos going to anywhere, going to
Conforme.
conformate nga lugar. Do Trinidad, uno,
Kapangan, Kibungan, ato.
Buntok,
Okay.
Lipanto,
Aha.
dayjay tiket ko mo si ibagadan o mayanda.
Okay.
Tikitak da ida alat bayadan da sin office. So nga, naggrupo no adu pa sa eros. Man susuod da, tan manlinyada. Manlinyada ay mag-astikit da. Singkad andi window ay office ko. At say ma-remember ko ador di. Lugar ay adiak ambo ngabuso ibagaday mayanda damagak mo pigay plete da.
Tatan. Siya mo nang dapat ang dadingin si Christian and Derry.
Konduktor siya.
Okay. Sige. Ito mo.
Konduktor si dadyo si Buntok Lipanto Buntok Lipanto line. Big adu ay ano ka may adminas.
Yan ito yung nanabot.
Inila nasakon sin office. Idi na observe nangin sakon di kwa ang taot-tauli ay man Arab unsakon. Mun iwo di bagbagana. Man tatauli agay man pasyar unsakon. Iwo di bagbagana. Idi inayagan tatang ko. Ayagam si gayem mo ta interview ak daytak ta kayo ay dua. Kunana, nantultulag kayo. Nan asawa kayo, kunana. Iwod mo tin bagbaganan sa kun. Kuna, sik ang ay iyat na. Piyan ko siya. Ngam, babainak. Iba, awan ti ibaak. Kunana, ibaak kung basta tagkuta. Ngalatan, mababainak si iba, no ibagak di tata. Ay, idiretso ka di tatang ko. Idiretso di waday pipian ko di. Mabainak ang tatang ko ay mang ibaga. Waday arabak kunana.
Okay, let's let her brain rest. Okay, so she met your grandpa when she was working at the Dangwa company. She used to be a ticket issuer. Before, there's no online, so you physically go and buy your ticket, and she is one of the ticket issuers in that company. If they say they go to Lipan Tumangkayan, they will go to Kapangan, they will go. She issues the tickets, right? So they also pay they pay their tickets there. And your grandpa was what's a bus conductor? The buses, they have the conductor, the one who collects money, the fare, right?
The passenger.
The passenger. So I think the conductor submits the collection.
Yeah.
Yeah? Man isubmit the collection na kayo.
When?
So grandpa submits collection to them. That's where he saw grandma. And then she said that I think when her dad learned about there was a guy courting her, he asked her to bring the grandpa, so that he wanted to ask them if they have plans of getting married. They're so conservative at that time. So I think they went home to Kapangan, and but I think your grandpa was shy.
Yeah.
He's shy to approach your parents. Ay iyat mo di? Ay may mga bagaan pipyanda ka. So anyway, to cut the story short, it was just I think his parents, grandpa's parents, went to Kapangan. They just talk like, there will be a wedding, blah blah blah. And then they set the wedding. They got wed in the where we went, Paikak, when they had their 50th anniversary. Your grandpa said that will be he wanted to have to celebrate their 50th anniversary the same soil that they were wedded. It was just a simple wedding. That was 1967. That's how the 50th anniversary came about, because otherwise you could have held it. We could have hold it anywhere here in Trinidad, but because that was a request of your grandpa, he said, I wanted it to be done in the soil where we were solemnized, or where they got wed.
Do you remember anything from your wedding day, Grandma?
She has a lot of memories, but I think because of her memory, remember, dinat mo nasasala kayo 6 to 6 din si Doingay?
Yeah. We have a dance from 6 to 6. Almost to this celebration.
You know what's 6 to 6? 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. the next day. Just like what we are doing. You remember when we went to yesterday? Like singing, dancing. It was 6 to 6. That's why she said 6 to 6. They don't want to go. Those from Atok, because your grandpa is from Atok and she's from Kapangan.
they were, I don't know, they were like singing and dancing all night long. That's what she remembers.
Yeah.
In your wedding. Nga na pa di udum ay ma-remember mo sin wedding you.
So, with life with Grandpa after the wedding day, what were some of your happiest moments with him?
We embrace each other.
Oh, we embrace each other. What else?
There's me, ado gaman kong ako nga,
You cannot remember.
yeah,
Was
lipatak ti daduma.
okay, can I ask you a question? Was daddy your first kiss?
No. Yes, yes. So na ati first nga nagsursurat kanya ngam I did not accept it. At subli-subli ti surat na ngam ako pa awan pa ti kasla nga
No, I said first kiss mo ni daddy.
un
Oh.
awan tin awray no ado tin nagsursurat angko nga nak-accept ti surat da.
Oh.
Nga edad answeran.
Even if she had a lot of suitors, she did not accept anybody. It was only your grandpa that she accepted. That's
Yeah.
why she said grandpa was her first kiss.
What were some of your favorite qualities about Grandpa?
Because jadi pagakpiman bakanan at sinoker. Intulok na mut nga mag-decide tati usto tapno plano tati happy family.
Oh, he did not go against what the wishes of your grandma. He obeyed the wishes of your grandma.
So, if Grandpa were here today, what would you want to tell him?
So nga mansing-sing put ka ako naka ready anan aktat suportaran ta.
Okay. She said, do you understand? She said, be good. We have kids. Let's support them.
So, to wrap things up, with the last section is about this idea of legacy. It's one of the reasons why I love doing what I do, telling the stories of people getting married, because these are stories that get passed down generations after generations. And so the idea of legacy is really something I'm drawn into because it's essentially, what do you leave once you're gone from this earth? So one of the first questions I want to ask you about legacy is, what advice would you give to future generations of our family about finding and nurturing love?
Standa tano say pantuladan abo di pamilyada. As at di insert di pamilyada tapno
Adalan.
unudan di pamilyada bunga sumaruno mampamilyada.
She said, for them to, what do you call this? Simpa. It is simpa. For them to, to fix their, or to, nga din at mo di tikod naman ay. Nadigat kong i-translate.
Standa
Usten. Do you know what is usten?
take care of
That's kang kanai gamin. I don't know the Ilocano of usten.
sing putan
Sing peten isimpada. To make their family
happy.
better, so that it will be, what did she say? It will be like an example for the other generations, like their kids, their grandkids, to be a model, the model, to make their family be a model to other generations, to more generations to come.
Yeah. Tapno mayat ti damdamag, mayat ti damag ti pamilyada.
So that they will have a good family. I'm running out of
Relationship.
maiden family. What is that now? Damdamag, a reputation, a good family reputation. Yeah.
So going off from that too, is there any general advice that you can give to your grandchildren, great grandchildren, about living a happy and meaningful life?
Eh, estanda ayawan da si apo anak da tapno paka adal da mayati resulta ti biag da.
For them to take care of their family, take care of their kids, especially education. She mentioned about education.
Yeah.
Education, to value education, so that their family would
Inherit
inherit the what?
the good situation.
So that their families also will follow, like it will be a good a family. So ibilin mo kadagay apom, anak mo.
Good.
How do you feel, Grandma, about this interview?
How do you feel about the interview, kanu, Grandma?
It's okay.
Dini, is it again interview ka niya?
Tapno maasat panamnam ko.
To sharpen her memory. So she said it's good to like sharpen her memory.
Yeah.
Tan iwod din na num iman is na nobody thought about
Out.
this.
Out.
See? Nobody thought about this interview. Because this will be passed from one generation to another. Anggan mo iwod ka, anggan mo iwodak, wada na ay pangililaan da.
Word. Abalag daytoy dakkel daytoy nga. Pang pang istorya yu ti pamilya tayo.
Do you understand that? Yeah, this is something big that, would that would impact the family.
Yeah.
So, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, sitting down with my grandmother and having this conversation was one of the most meaningful things that I have ever done in my life. There were moments of laughter, moments of reflection, and moments that really made me realize how much history and love that she still carries. Although there were like a ton of things that she couldn't remember about her life, there were quite a few things that I learned about her during that interview, like how her and my grandfather met. I thought that was just such a super awesome, super cute story of just how they met for the first time and fell in love. But overall, the one thing that had really made an impact with me was seeing her break down when she couldn't pursue and achieve her dreams of becoming a nurse, which just absolutely crushed me. And then hearing my mom afterwards, telling herself that, looking at the hospital that she knew that she will one day work at, and told herself that she will become a nurse. She's going to move to the US and she's going to bring her parents there to provide a better life for them. And she accomplished that. And so the reason why that hits me so deep now is I feel like I'm now in that same position, where I have set these goals for myself with my businesses, with my career, to put my family's lives and the future family that I know that I will one day build in an even better position. I told myself that one day I will achieve all the dreams that I had envisioned for myself. And so it really broke my heart hearing my grandmother not being able to pursue and achieve her dreams of becoming a nurse because of the financial hardships that they were dealing with at the time. It reminded me that so much of who we are comes from the stories and experiences of those who came before us. My grandmother's sacrifice, my mother's perseverance. It's a reminder that every dream that we chase isn't just for ourselves, but for the generations that come after us. It's about breaking barriers, creating opportunities, and making sure that the dreams of those who came before us weren't lost, but they were passed down and fulfilled in ways that we could have never imagined. This interview made me realize how much our lives are shaped by the sacrifices of those who came before us. My grandmother couldn't pursue her dreams, but that dream didn't die. It lived on through my mom, and now in many ways, it lives through me. It made me think that the weight of my dreams that I'm chasing, not just for myself, but for my family, for the future generations that will come after me. We are where we are because of the struggles, the sacrifices, the perseverance of the ones before us. If there's one thing that this conversation showed me, it's that honoring their legacy doesn't just mean remembering their stories. It means building upon them. Time is precious. We assume that there will always be another day, another conversation, another chance to ask questions that we've been meaning to ask, but that always isn't a guarantee. So if you're watching this, I really hope that this video inspires you to sit down with the people who matter most to you, your grandparents, your parents, heck, even your friends. Ask them about their lives, ask them about their struggles, about their dreams, because these stories don't just fade. They live on in us, in the paths we choose, in the lives that we build for ourselves. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need the perfect questions or the perfect moment. Just be present, be curious, and listen, because one day you'll look back and will remember these moments, because these moments are everything. Thank you for watching. I hope that this inspires you to have those conversations while you still can, and to keep striving to live a story worth telling.